Over to you.
Hi everyone, this is Manjusha Radhakrishnan. I'm the entertainment editor, Gulf News. Thank you so much, Jaideep and Sudip, for speaking to us. Firstly, I think this is like, a masterclass in acting and writing. Both of you so good at what you both do. Really happy at watching Pataal Lok. In fact, it's one of the first series, I think, in the year, which is too early to say, which I gave 4 out of 5. I thought it was such a brilliant series. Like, you had your own world that you built even in the second season, and it was not too far away from the template you guys created. What did you Are you guys happy with the reception? Let's start with the basic.
Yes, oh yes. We really couldn't have asked for more. When we were making season two, uh, you know, there was always this because the first season was successful, and there's always this sort of artificial pressure that the world tends to create on you, that you need to match up to that, or you need to do a better job, or as good a job, if not better, with the second season. We tried not to take that pressure, but of course, some of it, the residue of it, it kind of floats, on the sets. It floats in the editing room while you're working on it. But yeah, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better reception, critically as well as in terms of just the regular audiences who have seen it and who have loved it. A lot of thanks to this man on screen
Yeah.
for doing what he does so well.
Yeah, you are the soul of the show, really. And I mean, but actors are the spine. The rest of them equally did a fantastic, phenomenal job. Jaideep, I heard there are memes being done on you. So I guess you're successful. And that's the ultimate test, right? A meme is done on you, then you're like, yep, I've done a great job. Do you think that?
And I think we have done a great job. We all collectively, otherwise, uh, no actor can do that. Believe me, no actor can, I don't know, individually can do that. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing writing. There's an amazing team with that kind of energy and that kind of love to the script and the commitment and everything. It, it's it's a very collective effort. So I'm happy that I'm part of it. I'm so happy
Excellent.
about it.
Of course, and you entertained us, of course. And this came at a time when every filmmaker that I was speaking to seemed to be disenchanted by Hindi web series or the Hindi language films. They all wanted to either quit, retire. I don't know. I mean, it was very, the mood was very sober. So this came at a time, and I was like, finally, somebody got it right. I think you both need to take a bow just to reinstill faith in us. Do you guys take the credit for it? Finally, you guys like, we know what we're doing.
Oh, he knows. That's for sure. I know. The moment he knows, we know. It's a process. It starts from the source of it. If the source is right, I think everything will be right. He knew it.
No, not really. I think, Manjusha, it's in this business, nobody knows anything. All we can do is just. I think the effort. What I'm really happy about and proud of is the fact that all of us were not basking in the glory of the first season and what it did, and that it was successful, and we all started from the scratch, and we came in with the same energy and with the same passion that with which we had made season one, be it Jaideep, be it Avinash, be it I, all of us, all the other heads of departments. We came in with this very this honesty or this passion that comes in starting out, and you're doing something with all your heart. It was really that kind of saw us through, rather than resting on the laurels of our previous work.
Right. Right. What about you, Jaideep?
Sorry, what about what?
The question was about, there were many who were disenchanted by Hindi language series and films. But Patalo came, I mean, the season two dropped at a time, reinstill faith in us. Did you at any point feel disenchanted or feel really like as an actor, you feel very lucky to be part of a series that works on every writing?
Yeah. I always say that I'm one of the luckiest actors, in the city, who got this part, and uh, I remember saying this. Somebody was asking, "Okay, always there's, second season are always not working and this and that." I said it's very recently, just before the season of the release of season two. I said, let's break the spell. So I hope and I think we are here and people loving it. There are so many things. The first thing is all, I think, unknowingly or in a very general sense, people tend to, uh, uh, compare it with the season one, with every show. So the first reviews, like which I read, were most of them are like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is better than season one." It's that line I read over and over for so many days. I felt very happy about it.
Yeah. Trust me, we were relieved because that was
Yeah,
unexpected for the viewer as well.
because it was a very different, it was a very different flavor from season one.
Yes.
So it was a. I remember saying this to Sudip bhai. मैंने कहा ये you are taking a risk. You know that, na? You are taking
Yes.
a huge risk to write this story in that kind of terrain and that language and the culture and everything. People gonna be blown away by this, either very good way or very they can just uh, not attached to the feel of it, the word of that story. But thank God, he is like that. Yeah, I know, bhai, but let's do this. मैंने कहा,
Right.
I'm all in. I'm just saying. I'm just blabbing. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, no, this is brilliant. That's what we want. So the one thing I did after watching the series, see, Northeast is a very tricky terrain. I've seen several work where it's romanticized, exoticized, and I I picked up the call and called my former editor, who's from Manipur, David Tusing. I asked him, "Did you, as an outsider, as a Keralite, I thought it was very authentic a representation. I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think?" And he gave it 10 on 10. Surprisingly, the same thing I did. I won't name and shame another movie where a Bollywood A-lister was a boxing champion. He called me and he was like, "How could you give this rating?" He was so angry at the representation. Were you very keenly aware that representation is key here? How authentically you represent the people of Northeast, which is often said as a forgotten state, etc., right? It's
Right.
often dubbed as.
Right. No, I mean, it was the key, it really was. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the word representation. It feels like doing a favor. And I think as a writer, as an artist, that's one word that I try and stay away from. That okay, there's something condescending about saying that, oh, I'm going to represent you guys well. The idea really was uh, to tell their story. As much as we were going to tell Hathiram's story, it's also the story of all of these Naga characters that we encounter in Nagaland, and to do it with utmost honesty. Thankfully, in my case, I come from the Northeast. I come from Assam, so for me, I never looked at the Northeast with a romanticized lens or with an exoticized lens. I looked at them as I looked at them when I was growing up over there, which is these characters and these friends and families, or with you look at them with the lens of people. You look at them as you look at as characters from mainland, really. And that was the sort of the guiding light, that we are not going to uh, look down at them, make fun of habits or things that are different from what the rest of the mainland does. Or we're also not going to look at them as source of pity. That really was a guiding light. And particularly for Nagaland, if I may say, it's a very proud race. It's a very resilient, very proud race. It's a hard terrain. They've had their set of problems with the insurgency, with the drug problems, and all of that. But there's so much pride that you see in the people over there when they talk about the land, when they talk about their culture. or when they show you around, there's just so much. I don't see the same attachment in the mainland. I don't see the same attachment that someone from Bombay would take you around. Mostly they would be talking about, oh, it's so hot, or there's just too many people, and it's so expensive. It starts off with something negative. Very rarely you would hear someone say, oh, I love Delhi. It's a beautiful place, or I love Bombay. But these are the sentiments that you come across over there, and there's no way that you cannot not be influenced by that when you go over there. And it's with that sort of a lens with which we try to look at the land.
Right, of course. And the lens that you both, I think, show like Hathiram, I mean, your character, there's a scene where you break down when your colleague Ansari dies, right? It reminded me of Irfan Khan in Namesake. Weirdly, I actually thought of it. I was like, that scene, if you could, I mean, that was an emotion in itself. Well done, Jaideep. There was a
Thank
time
you.
when I was like, I was actually crying. I was like, this, and you didn't shed a tear. And I was like, there you go, that's acting for you, etc. Do you look at that scene, any such scenes perhaps? Because you're such a sad character. There's so much of pathos in you, Jaideep, your character. Like, how did you, and Sudeep must have written it that way. You can add to it as well. Jaideep, do you think this is the sad?
No, that's the start. That he has written it that way. It should come out that way, because there were times when I was doing something, and you know somehow it's you start crying, and but he never wanted that. I
Yeah.
knew that he will handle it. I remember saying this because sometime it goes out of your hand, and the character itself, or I cry, or maybe some tears comes out, and so we always like, no, we let's handle this, and again पहुंच पहुंच के दोबारा से खड़े होते हैं. Let's not go out all the way. So I think
Yes.
it's just him, to kept me, in a sense that uh, let's not get this emotion out of Hatharam. If it's inside, it's more beautiful, it's more poetic, it's more whatever you name it. So yeah, I tried that. I'm just happy reached out.
It was a masterclass in restraint acting, I thought. Sudeep, did you also tell him, don't weep. There's no glycerine. We don't want that. We want to feel it, etc. What was your brief to him to extract the best from him, which he did. It landed beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah, so, it for that particular scene, it was that the brief was that it's not the time to cry. Because that emotion bottled up inside him is going to take us through the next 4 episodes. That because that bottled up emotion is then going to become the engine for Hathiram going back to Nagaland. There's that moment that comes at the end of that particular episode where Hathiram comes back to his home and he starts packing, and Renu comes close to him and she sits down and he looks at her and says, y- y- "I have this weight on my shoulders, and I need to release it. I need to go back and find out the truth." And she puts her hand on his shoulder. That if he had cried and let out all of those emotions, it would have taken away. And I remember it very well. We were shooting at the Dimapur airport, this particular scene, and we did a first take in which I mean, if you're feeling so much as an actor, it's pretty natural that you would overflow with emotions, and you would start crying. And I remember, I from the monitor towards him, and he looks at me coming, and he wipes off his tear and says, "Ek aur karte. Let's go."
Oh,
And I just walked back. I didn't say anything. He knew exactly what we had to do. And there was just this real sort of synergy between all of us, between Jaideep, Avinash, who was the director, and me. We kind of were always on the same page with regards to how we're going to shoot it.
I so remember
right.
that walk. I so remember that walk.
You do, you do.
Yeah,
You're like, okay, let's do it again. Tears don't work here. I
yeah.
like that. A director who's not too impressed with an actor who's like crying. No, no, that's an easy one, right? Jaideep, one thing I thought about Hathiram is like it's the second season. It is 5 years apart. How do you manage to stay in character? Because it's so tough. I had to revisit. I revisited one, and I realized that it's almost seamless despite the 5 years lapse.
No, I was not Hathiram for last 5 years.
And you
I was
weren't.
doing
You snapped out of it. But
I was doing so different thing. We all went through the pandemic,
mm,
so it was part of life, and I did different films before I started season two. But the moment you read the script, I read the script. It takes you back to the world. It's very easy. It's not that that difficult to understand why Hathiram doing what is he doing. Why is looking at a monitor where ACP Ansari is now the officer, and he just looks at him on the screen, and maybe he never met him after that interview.
yeah.
You just make. But when you read it, you can always feel yourself going back there. Oh, I'm there. It's there somewhere in your mind, in your, because you did it. You were there physically,
Thinking
mentally, you
memory,
were
they call
there.
it. No? Thinking
So
memory.
just a tap on your door, or that door. Okay, now we are tapping Hathiram door, and it comes out in a very honest way. And then you
Right.
keep reading it, and then you might go and few, just like I went back to season one just to see few things, the relationship with the son, some reactions while I was reading the script. I'm like, is there any continuation from here in the season one? Just the emotional continuity, not the. But of course, it's a time lap. It's a time lap of 2 years, more than that. Son is in now college, so keeping in mind, you just need to tap very basics of it. Okay, you can see Hathiram as a now as a grown man, like 2 years after what happened to him 2 years back. So something, of course, in his mental state is different. His physical state is a little different. He's much older. His slightly more fatty, I think. And he has this peace with the life. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to be ordinary man. I'm
Yes.
happy that I have a family who understands me, and I have people who know that what I am, and they know my worth. So from here, this start a new journey, and it gives you different challenges. Yeah.
Right. Of course, Sudeep and Jaideep, I think you've given a new template for a cop. Usually we look at all bluster, they have to be bombastic, they have to have one-liners. You seem to have this guy is the always the one to be passed over for promotion. He has a limp, he heaves when he runs after a thief. He's not physically that fit. It reminded me of a Malayalam movie, honestly. You guys kept it realistically, as realistic as you can. Is that what, Sudeep, you were very clear about? I'm not going to sell out. This
It-
cop, just because we're successful, we are not going to make him like Baji Rao Singham. You know what I mean?
No, no,
Yeah.
इनको मैं फिट अच्छा ही नहीं लगता हूँ. मैं पतला होता हूँ तो इनके माथे पे शिकन आ जाती है.
He
No, I,
likes you unfit, heaving after. Like you were panting. I was like, I'm more fit than you, Jaideep. Come on. When I saw that scene.
Oh, you were, I'm sure.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
with
Sudeep, very, very particular that the template of this cop is beaten. He's the underdog.
Yeah, totally. And he's not just the underdog, but he's also like I was very clear that we wanted a more realistic portrayal of a policeman than what we see on screen. Somehow we never see them as living, breathing human beings. They are sort of like a law enforcing machine, and that's all that they are. Mostly when they are portrayed on screen, we never look at their inner lives, with a degree of authenticity or with a degree of empathy. If you look at the police force, I mean, there are whole programs being run in all police forces across the country. Yoga camps and programs to keep them fit. There are like I was reading up on some numbers of how the cops suffer from. I mean, a big percentage of the police force suffers from hypertension and diabetes, and they're living very difficult lives, and they're doing very difficult jobs, and there's no way that the repercussion of that is not going to show on them. Plus, Hathiram, I think the beauty of Hathiram is that he is this everyday man who has this quest for the truth. You know, if he this pursuit of truth, if he becomes like this cookie cutter version of the cops that we see on screen, he's not as much fun. Even I remember after when I was to give him the script of the first season, he said he's going to take it like a hard copy. He's going to take it from my hands and not an email. So he came to the office and he was fit. I think he was, I don't remember which film he was shooting, but he was so fit that I almost got a heart attack. I was like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, don't worry, give me 3 months, I'll be fine.
I'll be at my unhealthy best.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that brief. Thank you guys for so much. In one word, can you tell me, after the Northeast, which part of the world will Hathiram next solve his case on?
Europe,
Say
Europe,
no.
Europe, Europe.
Oh, you want a holiday, don't you, sir? I love it too. Let's not bastard. No, come to the Middle East too. You never know. There's enough crimes to be solved everywhere in every part of the globe, I'm sure. But thank you so much. Anything you guys want to add? My time's up. But thank you for entertaining us. You both were a dynamic duo. I'm so happy. Writing and acting, and every actor I thought in the series was brilliant.
Thank you, Manjusha.
Thank you,
Thank
Manjusha.
you.
Thank you so much.
Anything you want to
But
add?
that's a good caption, or that's a good headline. Dynamic duo.
You both are writer and actor. Well done. So proud of you too. Thank you for entertaining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Manjusha.
Thank you so much, guys.